What's up, everybody? It's your boy Reese here on the Dynasty Recall podcast, dropping more knowledge to help you dominate your Dynasty leagues. I'm here today. I wanted to talk through a few sleeper picks for startup drafts. These are players you can get after round 13. This doesn't specifically apply to startup drafts. You know, if your league is already started, I recommend trading for these guys. I'm not going to go into what I would trade for them, but I would recommend you don't overpay. I'm not expecting these guys to blow up and have, you know, top 10, top 12, top 20 seasons, but I do expect these guys to seriously outperform their ADP. It's good stuff. It's early in the morning over here. I'm drinking coffee today. I usually have my beer with me, but I'm just trying to get the day started. So let's jump straight into it. There's a few guys I wanted to talk about. Let's start with Donovan Peoples-Jones. Donovan Peoples-Jones is looking really good this year. He has an ADP of 171. That puts him around the 15th round. And, you know, he's definitely worth the flyer. He's getting Deshaun Watson. He's stepping into the wide receiver 2 role. He's got a great ADOT. Let me show you guys what I'm looking at over here. Let's see if it pops up. Okay, there we go. So 6'2", 212. This guy was a 5-star recruit. Had a okay year last year, but he's due for a big uptick in production. We'll see how Deshaun Watson coming to Cleveland changes their offensive scheming. I don't think it'll be anything crazy, but I do expect them to throw more. And, you know, I'm projecting around 80 targets for him. He got 58 last year. 80 to 90 targets. I don't think, who's their wide receiver 3? Anthony Schwartz, I believe. I don't see that wide receiver 3 role getting into too much of his targets. Amari Cooper can only take so much. He had an ADOT of 14.7. That's 4th in the league. That's great. And he's just that field stretcher type guy. And I expect some big plays from him. A great contested catch rate, 22 targets, 63%. And not a lot of drops. So he's somebody I'm really looking forward to seeing next year. And I'm excited for his new role and the new offense and how that is going to play out. Next up, we're going to go Kenny Goliday. Kenny Goliday he was one of my favorite players. I drafted him, I think it was 2 years ago. I drafted him in like the 3rd round of a 1 QB league, and I was ecstatic, and it just did not play out. It did not play out the way I wanted, guys. So his last 2 years, he's been a little injury riddled, and so 2020 he got hurt, and then that injury kind of lingered into 2021. So he should finally be healthy this year. They got a new coach over there in New York, Brian Dable. You know, he worked wonders with Stephon Diggs, and you know it'll be interesting to see, you know, what he does with Kenny Goliday. Kenny Goliday did put up back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons in Detroit. Granted, he had Matthew Stafford, but nonetheless, I'm still not quite giving up on this guy. He's got an ADP. Player Profiler has him at 119. And that puts him in the 10th round, so it doesn't quite fit. However, in my startup draft, he just went in, I believe, the 15th round. Let me verify so I'm not just talking out of my ass on here. Yeah, I took him with the 1506 in a startup. So he's got a wide range of where he's getting drafted at. Um, if he falls to you after the 13th round, I'm all for it. If you can get him in round 14, I am all for it. It's worth a shot. This guy has an A dot of 13.3. That was 10th last year. Granted, last year he did not play great. Daniel Jones didn't play great. Daniel got hurt. But he's getting the targets, he's getting the yards, and he's finally starting to settle in and learn the system. And he's definitely worth the flyer, in my opinion. Mm, this is good coffee, man. So that's another player I'm looking at. It really hinges on Daniel Jones's his improvements going into next year, and what the Giants can do offensively. Is Saquon Barkley going to produce again? The Giants are a real big mystery team, and I think that they can make some serious improvements. I don't think they're going to be a great team, but I do expect the volume to be there for Goliday. I have another Giants player on my list, someone, wide receiver who got hurt. And I'm buying Daniel Jones. I think, the Giants have put in the effort to surround him with the talent. Last year was not a good year. Goliday had nagging injuries. Pretty much that entire wide receiver room was depleted with injuries, and I don't think he got a fair shake last year. So Kenny Goliday, sleeper number 2. If you get him after the 14th round, I think it's a steal. I think back-to-back 1,000 yard seasons is not a fluke. Uh, like I said, yes, he had Matthew Stafford in that time, but he was a man amongst boys playing, and he looked fantastic, and he deserved his contract that he got. And now it's time to play. I think if he doesn't contribute this year, they'll find a way to get him off the roster and start looking at more reliable weapons. And if he doesn't perform this year, I am out. So this is the last year I will say not to give up on Kenny Galladay. Number 3. Let's move on to the next player. Curtis Samuel. Curtis Samuel, wide receiver, Washington Commanders, I'm sorry. This guy's definitely worth a buy. I bought him in Dynasty Warzone League. I bought him for the 211, if I'm not mistaken. Bought him for a very low second. This guy had a great time over in Carolina in 2019. He saw 107 targets. And Ron Rivera loves this guy. He will make him an integral part of the offense. He'll take some slack off of Terry McLaurin. And last year he was injured. He only played 5 games, and he was in and out of some of those games. And so I expect this year him being healthy, another year with Ron Rivera's system to really... You need to temper your expectations on these guys. I'm not expecting Curtis Samuel to go out there and put up, top 15 numbers, but he is a very good player. So, I mean, he'll fit in for a flex spot. So that's kind of where your expectations should be on that, and it's worth a gamble. I mean, Washington has to get some offense going. They brought in Carson Wentz. They have Antonio Gibson, Terry McLaurin. They beefed up the O-line a little bit. And they put a lot of money into the defense last year. It didn't quite pan out. But I'm expecting that team to take another step forward this year. So he's as close as you get to Debo Samuel in this league. He's the best guy this year I can see to take a shot on because of how cheap he is. It's ridiculous. And he had that injury plague season last year. So go out, get you some Curtis Samuel, and just take a flyer, see what happens. Maybe he's not your kind of guy. That's fine. That's why I have this list. I think it's about 7 guys deep, give or take. And yeah, let's go on to the next one. Gronk, Rob Gronkowski. Gronk is going pretty late. Player Profiler has him going around 1603. And Tom Brady's back. Why wouldn't you? I mean, it's Gronk. Even if it's for 1 year in a tight end premium league, people are gonna want this guy. So I would say it's a cheap buy now compared to what you could sell him for in season if you're not a contender. Or if you are a contender, he's a great stash. And Gronk was putting up the kind of numbers that you can just flex straight out. And why not? I mean, I don't have any stats, but I don't think I need any stats for Gronk. We all know what he's capable of. Maybe you guys forgot. I don't know. But for him to go in the 16th round is crazy. So it makes him a buy. Obviously, he hasn't signed with Tampa Bay yet, but I think that's only a formality at this point. With Tom Brady coming back, that's his number 1 target. And I don't see him not coming back. So go buy him. Next on the list, we have Sterling Shepard, wide receiver for the Giants. This guy only played in a couple of games last year. He played 7 games. And when he did play, he was great. Last year, he had 22 targets in his first 3 games. And then he had a week 6 where he had 14 targets in that game alone. So, I mean, I think it's safe to say when this guy is healthy and on the field, he is a target hog. And it's somebody you'll definitely want on your roster, definitely flexible. And he has an ADP of 189, and that puts him at 1609. I have it right here, but I'm pretending to do math in my head right now. But that puts him at 1609, and definitely worth a buy, man. If he can stay healthy and stay on the field, that Giants offense can be pretty solid. Not going to be amazing. It's not going to be great, but it's going to be solid with some producers that you can put into your lineup. Or at the very least, you can sell these guys to a contender during the season. Up next, who do we got? Up next, we have Braxton Burials. Braxton Burials is going 1 spot ahead of Sterling Shepard. He's going at 188. That puts him at 1608. So Braxton Burials just got a 2-year, $12 million deal. He's going to fulfill that slot role. It sounds like the Jets are on the look for a stud, a big-name wide receiver. As you should know, if you don't know, they were in the running to get Tyreek Hill. Didn't quite pan out. They didn't want to give up the first-round draft capital that the Chiefs wanted, but that just tells me they have something in mind for that first round. And it sounds like they want to go and get a Drake London type player to counteract Elijah Moore. But Braxton Burials is going to fulfill that slot role, and Braxton Burials is going to fulfill that slot role. 6 games last year, he had at least a 40% snap share. And in those games, he had 49 targets in 6 games. And so this is just a guy I'm looking at. And what's it going to cost you to get Braxton Burials? Probably the same as it costs to get Curtis Samuel, maybe less. Like a 3rd rounder or something. And with Michael Carter, I'm excited for the Jets. Honestly, the whole Jets team, Elijah Moore, Michael Carter, Zach Wilson, Braxton Burials, whoever they bring in the draft, I don't see them not bringing in another offensive piece in the draft. But, who knows what's going to happen in the draft. So much craziness, people trading, people reaching. It's impossible to predict. But Braxton Burials is another name to keep your eye out for. On to the next one, we have a little bit of bias. I'm going with Bryson Hopkins, tight end for the Rams. This is mostly for tight end premium leagues. And he's going almost undrafted. I did a 30-round startup with FantasyScape, and I don't think he went until like round 26, somewhere around there. So Bryson Hopkins, when Tyler Higbee went out for the Super Bowl, everybody thought Kendall Blanton was going to be the guy. Turned out to be Bryson Hopkins. This guy had a very good performance in the Super Bowl. And I'm thinking this great performance, not great performance. I'm thinking his performance could lead to more playing time, more snaps, more targets throughout this season. I don't think the Rams are going to re-sign Higbee when the time comes, which is next year if I'm not mistaken. I have to go back and look. But I don't think the Rams are going to re-sign Higbee. So a great stash play for tight end premium leagues, Bryson Hopkins. And last on my list, I realized I didn't have any running backs. So I went with Chris Evans, the backup running back for Cincinnati. Joe Mixon has been known to have injuries throughout the season. And Samaje Perine is not a great runner. I think that's kind of been shown and proven. So I don't think he'll be in real competition for touches if Joe Mixon were to go out. Chris Evans is going around the 20th round, 20.11, 238 in ADP. And like I said, Joe Mixon has that history of missing games. And so Chris Evans should be rostered as a solid backup for a potent offense. And these guys are all just worth flyers. It's worth somebody to take a shot on. You should be going down your rankings. These are just great names that I'm personally looking to take shots on. I haven't been able to get everybody in a league, but they should all outperform their ADP. Maybe not Bryson Hopkins quite yet. Like I said, give it a year. But he's a great stash, and at some point he could be the starting tight end for the Rams. I believe that is it. That's everybody I got today. Kind of a short one, but thanks for stopping by. Follow me on Twitter at @FF_Rees. I'm always trying to have conversations, putting out good content. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me or subscribe to YouTube. Of course, subscribe to the YouTube. Leave a comment, rate, review, and let us know if there's anything I messed up on or anything you would like to hear or do better. Shoot me a DM. I'll gladly help you break down your leagues and offer trades to your league mates and try to get you dominating your league. But thanks for stopping by, everybody. Peace.